Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've got a new Halloween fusion. All the information has just dropped. We're going to get into that champion, see what they're all about, see if they're going to be someone who's worth our time over Halloween. I will say, if you're one of the people, there's about 60% of you that watch every video I do, and you've not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe. Really helps my channel out, and it costs you nothing. I would appreciate it. Let's just have a quick think about previous Halloween fusions, because often we kind of have this feeling of Halloween champions, Halloween fusions are amazing. And that's not always the case, actually. So Harvest Jack was a fusion in the past. Probably sits in a lot of vaults right now. Most of them have got this kind of like fear type mechanic and some kind of spooky, I'm going to steal your stuff type of vibe going on. Harvest Jack is similar to that. Honestly, Harvest Jack's actually an okay champion, but compared to a lot of legendaries, he doesn't get a look in. Little Miss Annie was not a fusion, but one of the Halloween champions. Actually, one of my favourite looking champions in the game, but doesn't get a lot of playtime. Kit is a little bit wonky, very single target orientated. So, yeah, she's not kind of in the mix of someone who is good. Who else do we have? We had that kind of spell of Brackus coming in alongside Miscreated Monster, Madame Suri. So a couple of the epics are actually really good. Brackus was a fusion, a really hard one to get as well. You only had a week to do it, and it was like an intense one. Again, looks very sweet. It's not a bad champion, but very niche. Everything single target. And yeah, so this kind of vibe of the Halloween champions are always cool is probably wrong. Albeit they always look cool, right? So let's have a look at this one today. Who have we got coming in? We've got ourselves Morrigan. So Lady H says it should be pronounced Morrigan because she thinks she's a bit Scottish from, I don't know. She looks like the dead person from that cartoon film Brave. Anyway, Morrigan, she's like that. Am I any good? We will find out. Looks like she's probably some sort of witch that has been locked to this whatever, maybe like sunken to the bottom of the water. That's exactly what it is. She's a witch who's been sunk to the bottom of the water. They've put these kind of gold shackles on to shackle her magic. But yeah, I mean, as always, knocked it out the park on the visuals. What about the kit? Let's have a look and see what Plarium have got to say on it before I go into kind of like the detail. So Plarium is saying here, what we got? Undead. Of course, every Halloween fusion is an undead. The undead faction is brimming with champions, but we'll keep going with that theme. Support-based champion, magic affinity. Morrigan will be of great help in battles versus bosses and champions. Do they talk about anything other than a kit here? Not really. They don't kind of say specific bosses that they think she will be good for. So let's go through it. A1, decreased speed. 50%, books to 70. All right. You know, if we're looking for decreased speed champions, let's just think about where do we need it. Most bosses, decreased speed is decent. Yeah, it's going to help you out. If you're talking something like Hydra, you really want AoE decreased speed, so she's not going to be the one. If we're talking Iron Twins, decreased speed is great, but if you're going down that route, then you kind of need it to be 100%. Yeah, that's basically it. If it's not 100% with some sort of funky mechanic, then it's not really good enough. That's the truth. So it's an okay one, and it's a good high percentage chance to land it, but you know, it's not anything special just yet. A2, Shriek of the Banshee. So books to 100% chance, books down to 3 turn, chance of stealing all buffs from a target enemy. So one enemy steals the buffs. That's important. Also, 100% chance of placing True Fear on all enemies. That's nasty. Might work well with that new Fortus if he wasn't broken. We'll place decreased accuracy for 2 turns on a boss instead, if it's a boss. I like that. I like the way it flips to a boss because True Fear basically is a nothing skill against bosses. That's the problem with True Fear. It's a problem with a lot of the control abilities, honestly. You get to a boss and it's like, well, that skill's useless. What's the point in it? So then it becomes only an arena skill, and some of these champions don't kind of double up well. So I do like they've switched it to decrease accuracy. I wish there was a bit more going on with other enemies for the buff removal, buff steal. Trouble is, like, if you think about where you're going to need that buff steal, generally it's champions like a Duchess or a Sifi or someone who is going to be putting out there annoying buffs. Yeah, same sort of thing in waves on Doom Tower. Annoying buffs go out. Well, if you steal somebody's block debuffs, great, you could true fear them, but everyone else still going to have that block debuffs up if that's the situation. So sometimes this kind of like, I'll target one and then try and true fear everybody. It's a little bit suspect, honestly. It's okay. It's nothing crazy. Velocimancy. 100% chance of decreasing the turn meter of all enemies by 20%, which is pretty cool. Fills the turn meters of allies by 20% as well, and gives them increased speed. This is like that kind of massive turn meter flip. This is a great skill. Yeah, 4-turn cooldown. If you're someone who doesn't have a Lissandra, then this becomes a really good arena type of mechanic. So you're basically pushing your turn meter on, pushing their turn meter back. It's a really good kind of like trade of turn meter. It means that your nukers can be a lot slower if that's the angle. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people will have Arbiter who does a similar type of thing. Probably not as effective as this, but a similar type of thing. It does kind of lend itself to also be effective against any content. Yeah, so that skill there is basically just good everywhere in the game, pretty much. I guess stuff like Clan Boss, if you're trying to speed tune, it's not as useful. But yeah, generally it's a skill that's useful anywhere in the game. And then we've got this passive. So She Who Is Death. At the start of each turn, places heal reduction debuff for 2 turns on the enemy with the lowest HP. Cannot be removed, transferred, spread, blah, blah, blah. So it's a locked or secure debuff. Can't be cleansed. I mean, it's a weird one for me. It's a weird one. There's a couple of places where heal reduction is really good. So Finite is really good. Agref, it can be really good in the right kind of setup. But I don't think that's going to land on Agref. I don't know. Seems like a bit of a weird one. If it's in the arena, I guess it's probably going to be targeting the nuker. The nuker should be your easiest ones to kill anyway. I don't know. Speed in all battles as well. 19%. It's okay. You know what she is? She's not bad. That's what she is. She's not bad. She's not going to break anyone's game. She's not going to be a great legendary. She's going to be decent. Decrease speed, boost your speed and turn meter, push back enemy turn meter. A bit of a funky A2, but single target. Don't love it. True Fear is always a little bit wonky, in my opinion. It's passive, pretty much is trash, and speed in all battles is decent. As a progression legendary, like I'm thinking my free-to-play right now, she's going to be a decent champion. For my endgame account, she does not get anywhere near any team in the slightest. So there you go, guys. What do you think? Moradin, have I got it wrong? Is there something you would do differently? Or is there kind of some content where you're like, yeah, that's what she's made for? I honestly feel like Iron Twins is what she's made for. But with the type of teams that run in Iron Twins, I don't think we play it. There you go. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.